Welcome to Wager Talk TV. I am Kelly Stewart, joined by Steve Merrill at Steve Merrill on Twitter and Tony Mejia at Mejia Dinero on Twitter. Make sure you're giving both guys a follow. We are talking the Seattle Seahawks at the Pittsburgh Steelers. This one opened a lot lower, but no Russell Wilson, so it has been getting bet up. This is my best bet this week on Bet On, a little shameless plug there. So make sure you head on over to the Wager Talk YouTube channel and check out that video. Steve, I'm going to go to you first. Seahawks, 5.5-point underdogs, total 42. Very low total here, so it is kind of intriguing.
Yeah, I mean, and obviously it's a big game because it's the Sunday night football game. It's probably the most heavily bet sporting event of the week, week in and week out. It's the bailout game for a lot of people, which it should never be, but it is. And this is a situation where there's a lot of unknown without Russell Wilson. You know, obviously Geno Smith is a veteran. He did look pretty good stepping into the backup role in that last game against the Rams. As you know, Kelly, we like the Seahawks. We mentioned it here on these videos as a teaser play. And I still think that late interception made the difference, whether you want to blame Smith or not. I do think it's a huge step down in class. So Russell Wilson's been one of the most consistent quarterbacks in the NFL for years now. One of the reasons is he hardly ever throws interceptions. So whether you blame Smith or not for that late INT, it's probably one that Wilson would not have thrown. And it did make a difference, especially on the teasers, as the Seahawks lost by 9. And 8.5 was that readily a teaser play. So with that said, they have a little extra time, a little extra prep time here, obviously, to get Smith in the rotation because that was the Thursday night game. So they have 9 days of preparation. The question is, can he play on the road here in a hostile environment? Pittsburgh is not as good as they've been in years past. They're very mediocre on both sides of the ball, but mediocre might be enough here to beat the Seahawks. I think this is a tough game to call. It's always hard for me to play unders in the NFL. But both these teams have gone under in 4 of their 5 games this season. For that reason, we probably are getting some value now with the total. I saw as high as 48 on this one on a look ahead, now 42, 42.5. So once again, you're talking about almost a touchdown lower. A lot of that is because Russell Wilson is out. So do we dare pull the trigger now with an over in a battle of two teams that are 80% under this season?
Steve, you make a really good point. And Tony, I'm going to kick it to you because this is my big question for the week. Steve mentioned a touchdown difference in the total. Well, is it a touchdown difference between the two quarterbacks for you?
I mean, that's a little drastic, but Geno Smith had thrown 9 passes over the past 3 years before getting the call. And he looked pretty good outside of the pick, 10 for 17, 131 yards to a touchdown. Twitter was loving what they saw out of him. I probably had a surprise. We'll see what happens now with the Steelers having some time to prepare for him. Now, here's the key. I'm going to go on the high side in terms of the total, even though it's dipping. Who's got the worst total defense in the NFL this season? It's the Seattle Seahawks. They're allowing 450 yards per game. They played some tough teams, the Titans, the 49ers, the Rams last week. But, for my money, Pittsburgh can put some points up because even though they lose Juju Smith-Schuster for the season, James Washington and Ray McCloud can step up. They've still got Claypool, who's healthier now, Deontay Johnson, Eric Ebron, and Pittsburgh finally got some solid offensive play from the line last week to where Roethlisberger wasn't running for his life. Najee Harris comes off his first 100-yard game as a pro, became the first 100-yard rusher for the Steelers in 16 games. It was Ben Roethlisberger's first multi-touchdown game with no picks since Week 15 of last season. Steelers had more runs than passes for the first time since 2020's Week 5. So they actually looked like the Steelers last week, much to my chagrin, because I faded them against the Broncos. I looked at that line and said, why is Denver a road favorite? And it bit me. So in this game, I think Pittsburgh will be prepared for Seattle. It's a lot of points, though. I'm not sure if I'll touch the side, but with the total being where it is, I'm kind of leaning towards the high side here.
Great stuff from Tony and Steve. Make sure you guys head over to WagerTalk.com. Check out all of their available pick packages. And when you leave there, go to the WagerTalk YouTube channel. Check out all of our other videos.